say the least. I'm going to try to give you guys a brief run through. Stay buckled in because...
So, this comrade is providing an overview of the horrible situation that's been going on in Sudan. What's up, everybody? I've got Comrade Igy from... You're not in D.C. proper. The thing with D.C. is that it, like, straddles 3 states. So you've got Maryland up here, and you've got, like, D.C., which is basically a little rectangle in the middle, and then you've got Northern Virginia. I believe that most of the people that say they're from D.C. live in either Maryland or Northern Virginia, because D.C. is hell of expensive to live in.
Yeah, everybody gradually gets pushed out farther and farther until they end up in, like, Manassas.
Manassas. Wasn't there a Civil War battle there?
Yep.
Ooh. Have you been to the battlefield?
Yep. That's where I usually am. I work in that, like, in the neighborhoods that are in the middle of the battlefield a lot for my job.
I imagine if people go out there with metal detectors and shit, they're constantly finding like belt buckles and old bullets and shit like that.
Yeah, it's like I think that's like a hardcore Northern Virginia dad activity.
Go looking for some dead guy's belt buckle.
Yeah, it's like that or fishing are the 2 things.
I wouldn't pick up random shit I find on a battlefield. That shit has all types of shitty energy on it.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway, let's see what else this has to say about.
It escalates, and just when you think it can't get crazier, it does. So this sequence of events actually started in Nyala in South Darfur when the SAF claims it had destroyed a cargo plane filled with weapons that were meant to go to the UAE-funded RSF. The plane was destroyed after it landed at Nyala.
So I watched a video about this last week. The RSF, the Rapid Support Force, they're basically a bunch of Emirati-backed mercenaries that have been carrying out all types of horrible things. When I say horrible things, I mean like mass rapes, mass murders, massacres, destruction of whole villages, destructions of whole cities. I believe they leveled half of Khartoum, which is the capital of Sudan. Just general nasty shit.
Airport, which is an airbase that is controlled by the RSF. Sources say that the strike actually killed 18 Emirati officers who were overseeing the plane, and this is what started the sequence of events that I'm about to get into. Then in Port Sudan, the UAE targeted the last remaining civilian airport in the country. The attack forced the flights to be suspended for the rest of the day. The Port Sudan airport is really vital for humanitarian aid that's also coming in, and it's also a hub where people go to leave Sudan. I would insert the video, but I don't know if it would violate guidelines, so I'm just going to not to, just to be safe. But it is on my Twitter, which is This Is Not Veida, right here. Anyways, moving on, it gets crazier. In that same 24 hours, the ICJ had finally responded for the case that Sudan took the UAE to the ICJ to help hold them accountable for facilitating a genocide in Sudan. And they dismissed the case. However, it's really important to mention that the case was dismissed not because the UAE is innocent, but because the court was not legally competent to rule on the matter. This is because when the UAE signed up to the UN Genocide Convention in 2005, it actually signed a reservation that allows it to never be held accountable by the International Court of Justice. So their main argument there wasn't that they were not guilty, it was that the ICJ couldn't do anything. That was the whole argument. All day, it was UAE bots on Twitter celebrating it as if this means that they're innocent. You guys are still guilty. If you're not guilty, I dare you to revoke the reservation that you signed. And then that way we can try this again. But we know that you won't. And then there was another drone strike in Port Sudan. Again, in the vicinity of the Port Sudan airport.
Before like studying this crisis, I did not know that the Emiratis had drones. I wonder where they got them from. Probably bought them. I mean, they have plenty of money. They can buy whatever the fuck they want. This is why it's essential that we lean on these unions to like actually start pushing back against this stuff. Like everybody just mindlessly tail Sean Fain and the UAW. Workers at Lockheed Martin are on strike now because of cost of living bullshit, which is important. But where were you when the Palestinian people were like, hey, we need our fellow workers in the United States and the rest of the Imperial Corps to be in solidarity with us? So basically, you don't give a shit about little kids being plastered against the wall, but to get $1.50 raise and you want to go out on strike. That's pretty opportunist. There's actually a whole book about this called Blue Collar Empire by Jeff Shirky that everybody should read. It basically talks about how unions in the United States have been nothing but hot trash for decades. Like these people literally worked with the CIA to undermine true workers' movements in the rest of the world and try to bring them into ideological compliance with the Washington Consensus. AFL-CIA, precisely. That's not just a slogan, that's the truth.
I'm pretty sure they're like their special forces are still run by like literally an American like retired military colonel.
What, the Emiratis?
Yeah. Like he's still getting a pension from the United States while he's like they call him His Excellency.
That would not surprise me in the slightest. I think the Saudis had a British guy like that. The very first unions in the United States were responsible for the anti-Chinese sentiment in the 1800s. Like, if you literally look these people up, the Working Men's Party, their slogan is literally "the Chinese must go." So yeah, very, very nasty history. That's why I laugh at anybody that just mindlessly tails unions. You can't do that. You have to, as Marxist, Leninist, Maoists, we have to thoroughly understand everything and hold to the Marxist position that it is right to criticize everything that exists.
The last airport in the country, the Khartoum International Airport, which was the main airport in the country, was completely decimated. It no longer exists. And scheduled flights were again canceled. Again, people trying to escape from the last one because they're probably terrified, their flights got canceled again because they hit the vicinity once again. And while this was all happening on the east coast of Sudan, mind you, east coast, Port Sudan is in the east coast, the RSF was also attempting to take over Al-Fashir, which is on the west coast, the capital of Darfur state, but they were successfully repelled by the SAF and they were not able to take it, but they were just like in the moment of chaos, they're like, okay, we'll try this again, but thankfully, it still did not fall completely to the RSF. And the attacks in Port Sudan continue. They've striked naval bases, they've striked oil fields, they've striked the vicinity of the airport, they've striked the guest palace, they striked several hotels in Port Sudan as well. They are just striking.
We're going to get to India crashing out on Pakistan in a minute.
Striking indiscriminately, and destroying the remaining infrastructure that we have left. And then we come to today where the Sudan Defense and Security Council officially has declared the UAE as a hostile state and an enemy of Sudan, which means they have severed diplomatic relationships with the country. They are closing down the embassy in the UAE, and they have asked all diplomatic workers to leave the UAE. They have also reserved the right to defend themselves. The drone strikes that we are seeing right now in Port Sudan are just evidence that the UAE is escalating its methods, especially because the court case was dismissed at the ICJ. Therefore, they are acting with even more impunity as they were before because they know that no one's going to check them. We are currently at war with the UAE. It's no longer just the RSF. The drone strikes that are coming to Port Sudan are not from the RSF. Here's a map that shows the controlled areas of the SAF and the RSF courtesy to Vista Maps. We can see that over here, this is where the attacks are happening on the East Coast. This is an SAF controlled area. Over here, when we come to central/south/west Sudan, we can see the RSF has more strongholds. This is where they're concentrated. The RSF does not have the weaponry to go all the way from here to here. Sudan is a huge country, like it's literally huge here. But you know what does make sense? There was also attacks in Kassala State. Kassala State is somewhere that is 9 hours away from Port Sudan, but it is still on the East Coast, as we are seeing. Here we have the Red Sea right there. What makes more sense is that this is coming this way instead of coming all the way from across Sudan. There's no more denying it. And they have stopped denying it. They have genuinely stopped denying it. Recently, there was an article written by 2 Emirati agents on the Jerusalem Post about how Sudan has become a global hub for jihadists. We have seen this narrative time and time again to destabilize Syria, to destabilize Iraq, to destabilize Libya, to destabilize Palestine, to destabilize Yemen, to destabilize Afghanistan. Like, I can go on, and Sudan has become the newest victim to this. One Emirati ambassador said that we were training Hamas members in Sudan with the
That's wild. Why the fuck would you have to go to Sudan to get military training when you literally have the Israelis to practice on? It's fucking weird. Anyways, so yeah, what is this creator's name? This is Ghada, and like a lot of people, like nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about this because honestly, I think it's more ignorance than anything. Like these people literally do not know that Sudan exists. Never mind is in a state of war. But yeah, these they are currently in a state of war with the UAE. I mean, everybody should be in a state of war with the UAE because it's like you have like Israel in your backyard. Why are you not sparing these drones for Israel? Like, why are you not launching? Why are you not helping the Yemenis out? Like, why are you attacking Sudan? It doesn't make any sense. But fuck
The
them.
slave state.
Yeah, like you all literally have these. You all literally have folks as slaves over there. So one day we will be able to witness the fall of Dubai. So Pakistan is fighting India. Well, India has attacked Pakistan, like literally launched artillery and bombing raids into Pakistani territory. Pakistan Zindabad. Pakistani army spokesman Lieutenant General Ahmed Sharif officially confirms that 2 Indian fighter jets have been downed by Pakistan tonight. And a lot of jingoism from the Pakistani government here. I mean, I'm not saying that like Pakistan is the ideal country or anything. Like, there's really no um like between is India and Pakistan. There's really no like good guys. But you can't just attack your fucking neighbor, bro. I don't know what they're saying. I don't speak Urdu. Narai Haidari. I'm certain this is something that is that if you said to a Pakistani person would probably result in you getting beat the fuck up. So I will not say anything else. But yeah, apparently the India, Israeli, really not all that much of a difference. But apparently 3 people have been killed, including one little kid, in the Indian terrorist attack on 5 regions in Pakistan. So all of this, if we're going to give a history of the Indian Pakistani beef, we'd have to go all the way back to the British because Winston Churchill's stupid, slobbery, drunk ass thought it would be a good idea for India and Pakistan to fight each other because a civil war builds character. And now here you go. We've got little kids being blown up. What's your take on all this, Iggy? I know you have many, many takes on military affairs.
I mean, I think this kind of came out of left field. Like they've always been at each other's throats, like you said, since partition. But like, I'm not as familiar with this part of the world as I'd like to be. But from what I've read, because this is supposedly in retaliation for the terrorist attack in Kashmir that killed a bunch of tourists. But like, the Kashmiris have been, from what I understand, and I could be incorrect here, have been turning away from strict alliance with like Pakistan and have been kind of going their own way.
Yeah,
Like,
they want independence. Like they don't want
yeah,
to be occupied by anybody.
yeah, because like I'm from one of the newer groups that I've seen their propaganda online is like literally like Antifa, like no connection to Pakistan whatsoever.
Kashmiri Antifa?
Yeah, like they have the 2 flags and everything. They call themselves the Anti-Fascist Front.
Interesting. Kashmiri Anti-Fascist Front. Let's see if I can look up these guys without getting banned. The People's Anti-Fascist Front?
That sounds about right.
Huh. The PAF, People's Anti-Fascist Front, is a militant organization designated as a terrorist group by the Indian government, actively engaged in insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir, an ongoing armed conflict between Kashmiri separatist militants and Indian forces in the region.
Yeah, I before I heard about them and heard from folks in Kashmir talking about the situation, I did not realize how intense the repression of Kashmiris by India is. Like, it like you talked earlier about like how India and Israel are like similar. I think it's not just in terms of like the ruling government's fascist ideology, but like the way that India treats Kashmir is like very similar to the way that Israel treats the occupied territories.
Yeah, like just from listening to Kashmiris online, like you said, it's basically an Israel-Palestine situation. They treat these people like shit to try to occupy the country with soldiers. Um, the Kashmiris, the indigenous people, have no rights. It's a pretty shitty situation. So yeah, no shit, there's resistance, and now there's going to be even more. Back to the Pakistani militaries crashing out. These are real bombs. These are real artillery shells. So this is definitely like bullshit escalation. Like hundreds, if not thousands, of people are going to die because of this bullshit. And it's all Modi's fault. Well, everything that goes wrong in this region is Modi's fault. Like he's literally said that he's going to chase these people to the ends of the. Why don't you just get out of? Why don't you just get out of the places where people don't want you? Like what colonizers do not understand is that if people don't want you somewhere, you are not going to make them love you by using bombs and weapons and soldiers. You're just going to make them hate you even more. Like, well, what purpose does this serve? This serves no purpose whatsoever. Two nuclear armed powers going at it over a region of the world that doesn't want them there. It's asinine. Brinkmanship never works. Ask the Israelis. Anyway, so what's up with you, Phil? Iggy?
Well, I'm glad you asked. My union is kind of in crisis mode right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like we've talked about in the past, but I work for a progressive, like civic engagement, like NGO, and we decided to unionize like in October of last year, because they fired our trans field director with 2 hours notice, 2 days before her first in-person event since she transitioned, which seems pretty obvious what's going on there to me at least. So we have like unanimous support within our office of everybody voted yes. We've all taken out red cards with the IWW. And like management's been saying from the beginning that they like love unions. You know, we have the SEIU is like on our board of directors, right? So like they're like, we love unions. Of course, we'd never do anything to interfere with the union. Yeah, you got the red card too. Always love to talk to fellow workers.
Yep.
Yeah, but they talk about like how much they support us, even though they clearly don't like the IWW. But they talk about how much they support us, how we have the legal right and the moral right to form a union. But then like they've been taking, especially lately, taking just like crazy aggressive action against the union. Like I personally did not expect them to take this route at all. It seems like now they want to pick us off one by one. So they fired 2 union members in the past like month. And the second person who got fired was fired after they were put on paid leave for 2 weeks while a HR investigation was ongoing, because there was a like big like fight, like kerfuffle, over us asking about.
Did this motherfucker really just say kerfuffle?
I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I don't want to make it seem more intense than it was. Like it was a
shit show.
heated discussion. But like I don't think any of our people raised their voices, right? Like we were all just like asking questions about the endorsement process, because we've been talking about how like it's very hard as a canvasser, you know, like we go and knock on people's doors. And I don't know how to have that conversation where someone says, you know, this politician killed members of my family. And I'm supposed to say, go vote. It's more important.
Wait, y'all actually got politicians up there killing people, like for real? Like John Fetterman is gonna wrap his fucking bare hands around your throat?
Well, I mean, I think if you send the bombs to Israel, right, then it's on you. Those kids would still be alive if you said no. You know,
Yeah, that's what I keep trying to get these idiots to realize about Bernie Sanders. Like every time Bernie says that Israel has the right to exist, he's engaging in a form of Zionism. Like it's soft Zionism. It's Zionism that's shared by a lot of people in the United States, especially those that call themselves leftists, but it's still Zionism, like Zionism in any form. Like it's not just Beitar going around doxing people and starting fights in the streets. Like Zionism is also people in positions like AOC's. Like AOC is being um, paraded in front of actual revolutionary communists as a friend of Palestine, when in reality she denounced protesters, organizers from the Palestinian youth movement as being anti-Semites. That is a form of soft Zionism. It's a form of normalization. Shit, even saying Israel, that's a form of normalization of the Zionist entity. So a lot of people need to either dump the opportunist bullshit, or they actually need to start like conducting political education and learning about this stuff that they criticize, because you guys really don't know where power comes from. Power does not come from Bernie Sanders. If AOC runs for president, she's going to lose no matter how many doors we knock on. Like Fred Hampton said, we're just going to wear out the souls, both the souls on our shoes and our metaphysical souls. So I don't fucking get it. Maybe you can enlighten us a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, so the thing that throws me for a loop personally is like the people that I work with at this company, right? Like the majority of the people that work at this company already kind of, I feel like they already know that, right? I think a lot of people, if they're honest with themselves, already know that. But like we sent people to work on the vote non-committed, or it's uncommitted, in Michigan, the big
Uncommitted,
protest
yeah.
vote. Yeah. So we sent like organizers like from our company, MBM, uh, out to like help them organize that, right? Like so people made calls like for voting uncommitted, right, in the primary. So like we didn't expect it to be like so heated when we like asked questions about it, because we kind of felt like everyone was on the same page that like it is a problem, it's a liability to the organization if like we are seen as breaking with a segment of our community, right? Because like there's a huge Muslim community here in Nova, but also like the majority of human beings have human hearts and human spines and don't like seeing dead kids, right? So like when our coworker said, like, I don't like, I'm tired of seeing dead kids, right? I don't want to be, what I believe he said is, I don't want to be just heard, right? I want real change, right? And I think that's fine to say. And he walked out because like folks were yelling, folks like chased after him. People laughed at him when he said he's tired of seeing dead kids, right? And this is like managers doing this to a low-level employee. Someone said that they want to like beat him up or something like that. So all this is pretty crazy, and I
It
think
sounds like political retaliation verging political violence. Like, is the First Amendment no longer a thing you get to jump on and beat the fuck out of a dude because he says he's tired of seeing dead kids? Where the fuck do they do that at?
yeah, and it's like I kind of thought that this type of conversation wouldn't be so contentious in like a space like that, because the workplaces, you know, they talk the talk, and I thought after we did the vote no committal campaign or uncommitted campaign that like they were going to walk the walk. But this is kind of like been in a context of like anti-union oppression, because like, you know, I think we want to be convinced that like management, just like upper management, just doesn't know what's going on. Like they don't know about like all the ADA problems that we've been having, like how disabled workers are treated. Like it's all just like a mistake. But like after they fired my comrade yesterday, like it's much harder to see things and like want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Well, what does the preamble say to the IWW Constitution? Us and them, we have nothing in common, right? So
Exactly.
I wouldn't give them the benefit of the fucking doubt. Not criticizing you or anything, but like that's a very common thing, especially like in small shops, small workplaces. Like, oh yeah, that's Tim. Like he's not our enemy. Like we've worked together for a long time, and he let me have that paternity leave that one time. Like they have sugar coated bullets, and a lot of people fall for those. But at the end of the day, these people are not going to organize themselves out of a job. That's what I keep trying to tell people about these weapons workers. Like the taking organization of weapons workers to its logical conclusion requires the ending of Boeing. It requires the ending of Raytheon, the ending of Boston Dynamics, the ending of Lockheed Martin. And you're not going to convince anybody to organize themselves out of a job. These jobs pay extremely, extremely, extremely well. And a lot of STEM people, like it's literally to the point in STEM, from what I've heard, that if you get a degree in mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, literally your only way to eat is by working for a defense contractor. So people that graduate in these fields that actually have a heart, they're in between a rock and a hard place. I know people that have changed their majors because they don't want to go build nice new cluster bombs for Lockheed Martin. They don't want to do that. And when you look at these workers, when people were trying to actually get them to come out on strike during the height of the genocide after October 7th, these people were trying to beat these kids up and run them over. The Palestine Action people, like if they actually got caught, if they actually fell in amongst some of these workers, they would be fucking pulled to pieces. Like there's really no hope for organizing a real anti-imperialist movement amongst these people. And when I say there's no hope, it's not a nihilistic thing. It's just like nobody's going to organize themselves out of $175,000 a year job. They don't make jobs like that every day.
Yeah, my sister is she used to do like an internship for NASA. She's like an astrobiologist, and the only
Ooh.
people that are looking to hire her is fucking Raytheon, fucking Boeing.
Astrobiologist, so she studies like aliens and shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What
Like
the
one of
fuck
the
is
things,
Raytheon want to do with the find out how to kill the aliens? I guess.
I have no fucking clue. They have their fingers in like every single pot, to be honest. Like you can't like especially up here in Nova, you can't like walk 10 feet without tripping over something that's got Raytheon's fingerprints on it.
Yeah, fucking DC.
It sucks.
Yeah.
You like
Oh,
listen to people talk on the train, and it's like half of them are like their job is to turn kids into skeletons.
yeah, I heard it's really bad on. There's a lot of shit out on the West Coast, especially around Seattle, and then St. Louis. You've got Warshu, you've got Boeing, you've got like we're pretty heavy in the military industrial complex out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it won't stop until we stop it. So you're in an actual IWW union. How did that come about?
So I have actually, since I heard about the IWW when I was a kid, when I was first like figuring out that I was a socialist, I I've always wanted to join the IWW when I found out that they're still around. Um, and I've been trying to organize canvassers. I've been in this industry for like 10 years now. This is my third shot at trying to do it, and this is the farthest I've gotten. So I'm pretty excited. The issue is like, because we have our boss has like a working relationship with so many different unions for the work that they do, and then SEIU's on our board. We wanted somebody that didn't have a conflict of interest, and somebody that would like we'd have control over our contract and stuff like that, because that had been a problem with some of our workers. Like in the past, had issues where like they weren't asked about the contract they got after they were done striking. So like it lined up where I was like, why not the IWW? And everybody said yes. So I'm pretty excited. We've had like overwhelmingly positive support from our like our local branch. Folks have driven down to Richmond at like 8 in the morning because we did our employers, while we're in an active union dispute where they took us to the NLRB to try to deny our bargaining unit, saying that we didn't have a majority in our bargaining unit. We were in context negotiations. So like while that was happening, they had us come to a mandatory work event at a union jobs, union rights march in Richmond. So we showed up. It's actually on our Instagram page. We showed up with a big banner that says that we should be.
I support statehood for DC. Why don't you support statehood for DC, Truman? I think you lied to me about being a Maoist. I think you're a Dungite for real.
So we brought a big banner that said, Nova Canvassers demand a contract. We got a petition signed, like demanding voluntary recognition, and like folks from all the different unions that were there showed out to support. A bunch of people in the community at Richmond showed out to support. It was actually like a really good time. Got the local anarchists were like very cool. Actually, the local anarchists were like, "Can you please explain Maoism to me?" Which is pretty nice. That was a lot of fun. I felt like
you have the same role in DC and Nova that I have here in St. Louis. You're like the OG Maoist, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like you stick around for long enough, it's just a role you fall into.
Yeah, like every time somebody wants to know something about fucking Maoism, they go, "Oh, go ask BRG." I mean, I have kind of been making these fucking videos for 8 or 9 years, so it's half annoying, half exhilarating, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I like settling into my new role as like Maoist dad.
Well, I do have the Maoist dad hairline, but I also have the Maoist dad hats. That's why people think I'm like 50 years old. Like, people do not realize that I'm only fucking 30. I think you and me are the same age, actually. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I
these
just enter.
hats. It's these hats. But I like these hats because, one, I'm a huge ska fan. That's actually why I started wearing them. And then for two, they fit my head really, really well.
Yo, our one of our most active organizers is actually like a huge ska guy. He goes to like there's I guess there was like a what's it called? It's like
Go fuck yourself, Mark. Go pick up a fucking. Next time, I hope you're out there playing in the woods. I hope you pick up a fucking scorpion or something, and it stings you up in your asshole. Leave me alone, Mark.
Yeah, he's I didn't know this until we started organizing. That's like one of the things I love about workplace organizing, and everybody in the IWW who isn't actively trying to form a union at your workplace, definitely try it. It's a lot of fun. People will surprise you. Like, I had no idea that this dude was like an OG like ACT UP organizer from like the AIDS epidemic. Like,
Wow.
yeah. He was like I believe he was a union steward. I know he was active in his old union. And like I would have never known that if we hadn't like started talking shop, you know?
Yeah, ACT UP is actually like one of my main organizing models. Like, I love those comrades.
The simultaneity of action where it's just like like they never tell anybody no unless it's like actively harming the group. Everybody does. Like you just go ahead and do it. That's such a like
And they actually got material gains. They got the price of a pretty major anti-HIV drug lowered.
yeah.
It's like they literally targeted the people. That's why I laugh at these folks that act as if like canvassing is basically the be all end all of organizing. Like, you do this shit for a living. Like, you literally hit the doors for a living. Like, you have to do something else. Find a
100%.
scorpion and pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
exactly, exactly. Like, because like, and like, I won't say it's like not hard. Like, it is hard, but like, fucking, I think just sitting around and watching this all unfold around us is going to be way harder than putting in a little bit of effort. Like, I think a lot of people are waiting on somebody to tell them what to do, and it's just like, fucking get after it in your own community.
Not just even tell them what to do, they're waiting for somebody to tell them what they want to hear. Like, especially being in DSA, like a lot of these people, they still have like they're very esoteric in their head. Like they openly proclaim that they're Marxists. Like they love Karl Marx, they love Lenin. Hell, some of them have even read Mao. But when it comes to actually applying the shit, they don't want to do that because they don't want to take that contradiction as far as it'll go because they know what that entails. And ultimately, these people don't want to fucking die. They don't. They want other people to die. That's why a lot of these folks they applaud the revolutionary armed struggle of the Palestinian people, but they do not recognize that that is what's necessary in the United States. Like they think that they cling desperately to the notion that we can have peaceful change in the United States, but we cannot. They
Yeah.
read theory, but they also want to cling to their liberalism as well.
The thing I'm telling people is they're going to shoot the cowards too.
Oh yeah, like the model of a modern day liberal is basically somebody that like they've literally got you. They've got your hands bound. They're leading you to the fucking mass grave to be shot and kicked in. And they're like, you can't do this. You're going to get in trouble with your superiors. I know you're a boss. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you're still going to end up with a bullet in your fucking brain, laying down next to people like me and Iggy here. They do not care. Fascists do not care about any laws except for those that they make, and they will throw those that they make by the wayside as soon as they quit serving their purposes. These people do not have any like wholesale ideology besides the raw, naked pursuit and exercise of power in the interests of the most reactionary elements of capital.
Yeah, like I'd say even at like the local level, and I'm about to start bumping up against stuff that I cannot talk about. But
Oh, don't do that. I do not want to be the cause of you being in jail.
I ain't going to jail. It's not happening. But at least not for very long. But the fucking the lawlessness of the state right now. I think a lot of people are like you said, they're waiting for somebody to tell them what they want to hear. And it's like, bro, they do not care. They don't care. What matters is like political power grows from the barrel of the gun. And like the courts can talk all they want, but they don't have guns. The people with guns don't
Yeah.
care.
And
Right?
even then, the courts are not like inherently our allies. Like the Supreme Court just upheld Donald Trump's transgender ban in the military. Of course, a lot of my trans comrades are not necessarily like crying tears over it, but still, like that is a very, very dangerous precedent.
Yep. Sends more radical people with with training and with experience our way though. So I know people who got like kicked out the last time he did that. Who like were 100% like reincorporated into the Imperial Project, and then like snapped them out of it. You know, when the leopard ate their faces.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. Like I say this every time the military is brought up. Should we be like just going out wholesalely recruiting people that have been in the military and leaving them ideologically as is? Absolutely not. Like our goal is not to build up a liberal Freikorps type militia, but if we're serious about what the fuck we're talking about, we're going to be doing. We're going to need people with that type of expertise and training because civilians in this country sure as shit don't. Leftist civilians in this country sure as shit don't. A lot of these people don't even know how to take apart a gun and clean it. So it's essential that we recruit people with those skills and and take advantage of that. Like you've literally got Pete Hegseth, the drunk Ken doll. He's talked about no more transit DOD, and it's fascinating, like how quickly this is just like over the course of the past 10 years, it's just because like trans people are basically the only people in this country it's okay to openly say shit like this about. Like, imagine if Hegseth had said no more blacks at DOD. Of course, the Department of Defense is not like a boon companion of black people, but like you can't say that type of shit about us. you can still do fucked up anti-black shit, but you cannot openly say shit like this. That's why we have to consider our trans comrades the vanguard of the queer struggle, because like they're the ones that are actually going through this shit.
Yeah, and speaking of like our, I mean, that connects back to our labor struggle, because like it's as like the needle moves on that, as like people are kicking the Overton window to the right, I'm really afraid that Democrats are just gonna roll over like they're rolling over on everything else and start parroting that rhetoric, just like they've been doing with immigration. And like, because like one of the problems we're having that our union is organized around is like we're a majority trans office, and like uh, like little microaggressions and then some pretty big macroaggressions against trans workers is just something that we have in a supposedly progressive workplace, where like you said, like it would be untenable to say to treat people from other groups the way that trans people are treated, even in like what's supposedly the core of like this like civic leftist movement.
I'm reading this from Resistance News Network, which I'm pretty sure you're also a member of. So, yeah, Yemen continues to throw down. Like I keep telling people, get you a friend like Yemen. Like the Western left is really not all that good of friends. Get you a friend like Yemen. Like these people are literally being bombed to shit every fucking day. Yet they still continue to send several missiles a day. Like they literally closed the airport in Tel Aviv. So they said there will be no retreat from supporting Gaza, no matter the cost. What has happened proves that our strikes are painful and will continue. The Israeli aggression proves to our people the correctness of their movement and struggle and reassures them even more that when they see that they are facing the vilest enemy humanity has ever known. Our response, Allah willing, will be devastating, painful at a level that will not be bearable for the Israeli enemy. To all Zionists from now on, stay in shelters or leave immediately to your homelands, for your failed government will no longer be able to protect you. The aggressor will realize that the price they will pay is high, and no aggression will deter us from our decision to support Gaza until the aggression stops and the siege is lifted. So you compare that to the bullshit that AOC is saying. Like you even have fucking that idiot MTG that is basically posturing herself as more anti-imperialist than the Democrats. Like, yeah, she's still a nut. She even went on to crash out and whine about cartels, but she literally said, like, look, all these wars are dumb. Like, we do not need to be fighting these wars. I've never seen a Houthi. Meantime, you have Bernie Sanders because he said Israel has the right to exist. Like, we live in fucking bizarro world. Everything is upside down. Like when we were growing up, the Democrats were supposed to be the anti-war party. Now they're the war party.
Yeah, that like I mean, obviously the terror bombings of like Sanaa started under Biden, but it's like escalated into. I saw someone say like it's the largest naval engagement since World War II that the U.S.
Yeah.
has been involved with,
And the U.S. is getting its ass kicked.
yeah, definitely. Like they took out a Harrier jet by like making the aircraft carrier move at the last minute when it landed and it fell in the ocean.
Womp
And
womp.
yeah, like they've been terror bombing civilians and infrastructure for like months now, and the Houthis are still able to like deploy hypersonic missiles and strike infrastructure anywhere in
Yeah.
Israel.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing a comrade from the University of Cincinnati's YDSA. They actually hit me up with the video that they had took in the courtroom today. Rodney Hinton's brother. I don't know if you've been following his case or not, but Ryan Hinton was the son of this guy that had court today. He was murdered unarmed with his back turned to the cop that shot him, running from behind a dumpster. Some shit about a stolen car. Either way, it's not justifiable murder of somebody that's unarmed and running away from you. So allegedly, his dad, Rodney Hinton Jr., the guy in the orange jumpsuit in this drawing, took his car and said, "Okay, we're George Jackson now. We're gonna have funerals on both sides. I don't even care if this is the cop that killed my son. You've got a uniform and you've got a badge." So allegedly, he took his vehicle and plowed down the first cop he saw, which is dope as fuck. and justifiable if he did do it. Either way, like, people need to like stop being so fucking nuanced about people who are going to be our heroes. Like, you're going to be reading about this dude in Revolutionary New Africa. Mike X Johnson, Chris Dorner, even though he was basically a fucking Republican. Like, people that actually have the wherewithal to act, we need to protect and defend these people.
Yeah, I saw someone online saying, it might have actually been you. Now that I think about it, that like folks need to be showing this guy the same kind of support they were showing Luigi.
Yeah, like this, you
Absolutely.
got this rich white kid that goes out and shoots a healthcare CEO, which again is based. But why was everybody like all up his ass? And very, very few people are actually talking about this guy other than black people and leftists. So we definitely have to uphold real, genuine heroes of the people. Am I saying that Luigi Mangione is not a hero of the people? Absolutely not. But like, we have to keep in mind that black people, we don't have the types of connections that somebody might like Luigi has. So it's especially important that we take care of our own. So this is the video that was recorded by the comrade. This is Rodney Hinton's brother here in the center, and he's basically being pushed and thrown around. The cops, like, this was basically Cop City in this courtroom. This is a bond hearing, mind you. It's not a trial, but they all showed up trying to intimidate. Like, they were literally mean mugging, staring this dude down. The whole front, first, second, third, and fourth rows were full of cops. And this is like, this dude, he literally said, I want my brother to see me, and I want to see my fucking brother. This is obviously a very, very close knit black family. Like, he's already lost his nephew, and he's very possibly about to lose his brother too. That's how black families are. And these are how the cops respond. There was no reason for them to gang up on this dude like this, but this is what happened. And you've got Cincinnati cops, you've got Hamilton County sheriff's deputies, you got all types of people here just fucking ganging up on this. Like, this family is they're fucking anathema in the city of Cincinnati now. Like, my uncle was literally killed by a cop 14 years before I was born in 1980. My mom was 5. They had to lift her up to see into his casket so she can get one last look at her big brother. All that she remembers about him is that he used to call her cousin It. But and my grandma, she tried to go to the NAACP. She tried to sue, and mind you, this was like 40 fucking years ago. And the white lieutenant said, look, first of all, it was a black cop. It was one of you guys that did it. So don't bring the race shit into it. And then second of all, if you try to go to court or file any type of lawsuit, we're going to make it so that your family finds the city of St. Louis a very, very unhealthy place to live. They would say shit to you like that. And these cops are a gang. This is how they behave. So it's essential that we show up and support those that actually have the wherewithal to act, like the people of Yemen. This is a civilian facility. These people are wearing plastic sandals.
والبنات التحتية والمدنيين فلله الحمد ولله الشكر سنفرض حصارنا وسنعزز قوتنا فوالله لو أكلنا تراب هذه الأرض وشربنا من ريحها لما تراجع. And some people are going to retort with like, oh, this is just propaganda. They made him say that. You could tell by the way this dude is looking that he's saying this because this is what he really believes. Like, this guy is not brainwashed. He's not propagandized. He's not paid to say this. Like, these people have literally nothing. Like, Yemen is the poorest country in the Middle East. These people don't have shit. But they're still, like, this is why I laugh at people in the West who are like, oh, we can't do anything. Like, this, you got this poor ass country that's under US and British bombardment. And they're not saying that we can't do anything. They're demonstrating that it is possible with the will, with the wherewithal to do stuff on behalf of those that you care about. They like, shame us all.
They got like weekly million-man marches in Yemen.
Yeah.
I ain't seen a million-man march here.
There was one in 1995. The Black Million Man March. I think it was only like 250,000 people.
Was that in DC?
The Million Man March? Yeah, I was in DC. I think Farrakhan them led it.
Yeah, I think I've heard about that. Folks talking about it.
Yeah.
Mr. Bennett, at the prior hearing before today.
Look at all those fucking, like, there's no reason for all these cops to be here in uniform for no other reason besides intimidation. So that's his family. Like, he's in this room, he's in this glass box here. There's the judge. His family is on the glass, letting him know that they're here to not let them, that they're not letting them do this thing alone. And look at how the cops respond. So this is the cousin, allegedly, who also is a sheriff or a cop one. This is that dude's cousin that's going to get up and grab this guy without a judge's order. He's pulling him away from the glass for no reason whatsoever, mind you. He's not breaking any laws. He's not doing anything wrong. He's not being violent or hostile.
Man.
Okay, so they all get up. They want to lynch these people so bad.
Sit down!
Again, when we say that the cops are a gang, we literally mean that the cops are a gang. This is gang member activity. We're not being hyperbolic. We're not being exaggeratory. We're literally saying that the cops are a gang because that's how they behave. They all got up at the same time. One of them initiated the shit. Got to pull dude away from the glass for no reason. He was there to show solidarity and support with his brother. And this is how they behave. They're trying to start a police riot in the courtroom.
He's out of line! Under the color of law! He's out of line! Acting under the color of law! Acting under the color of law!
Was that pig's name literally Jay Goebbels?
It is appropriate.
No, Goebbels was a skinny little dude with a club foot. Hitler would have sent him up a chimney as part of Action T4, but he was very, very useful as a propagandist. And here's another view. So this is from inside that box. None of this shit was necessary. They didn't have to kill the dude's son. They didn't have to show up to court rolling that deep. They didn't have to grab the dude's brother for doing nothing wrong. And they did not have to attack his whole fucking family for no reason. Cincinnati is gonna burn. It's gonna burn this summer. Several cities across the United States led by Cincinnati are going to burn this summer. Like, people are getting tired, man. People are fucking tired. Like, everything is high. You got people's family members being snatched off the fucking street and being sent to El Salvador and apparently soon Rwanda. You got people being murdered by the police for no reason. And now you have retaliatory violence. You take one of us, we take one of you. That's what folks are on now. This is what I keep trying to tell these people they're still trying to move and act like it's all good. Like, there might not even be a 2028 election. You don't know what's going to happen. Shit's changing very, very fast. Every day is something new. You only get peace when you sleep. Then you wake up, you check your phone, and it's a new horror, a new game-changing thing. I'm tired of living in fucking historical times, but they're also very, very exciting times.
And the thing, like, I think there's people take two ways with it. Either they turn to like sort of like opportunism or like fantasy, and try to think like they can continue to do business as usual, or they get nihilistic about it and think that like, oh, like we're trapped, this is inevitable, they're so strong. But like, look at those people, those are idiots, right? Everything they're doing in there is stupid. Like Luigi's gonna walk, right? Like they fucked up that case so bad. Like
They're gonna kill him.
they got that. I mean, they're probably gonna shoot him on his way out, but he's not going to prison. Like they
Because he didn't do it. He did not do that. He did not shoot
for
that
sure
man.
it wasn't him. Yeah,
Like,
no, they definitely planted shit in his backpack.
Yeah, the fucking cop had his backpack body cam off. She took it away from where he was at when they arrested him in that McDonald's in Pennsylvania. And then she brought it back around. Yeah, they planted shit on that. That dude did not kill that man.
Yeah, I'm like, the thing is, like, even with the Gestapo coming in and taking people and sending them to El Salvador, like, if you look at how they're going about this, there's no like central plan, right? There's
They
no
don't. It's a stress and a system test. They're trying to see how much they can get away with. They're trying to test us to see what is our response going to be. Thankfully, there were people outside that were demonstrating in solidarity with the Hintons. So it looks like the call for people to actually support this is going through and it's being received. Cops don't keep us safe. Cops are class traitors. Protect and serve, for example, except for when it's you. Justice for Ryan. I stand with Rodney. Okay, very good. Very hastily made proletarian looking signs, but yeah, like people are fucking tired, man. And from what I understand, Cincinnati has a pretty heavy left presence. I mean, their baseball team is literally the Reds. So what is the state of organizing in DC right now?
I mean, as DC,
organizing organizing in the Panopticon, you've got like literally every fucking federal police agency up your ass 24/7.
I think that has a lot to do with how like fucking toxic everything is, but it's also like it's a city with a lot of transplants that come from petit bourgeois background, and
kind of like St. Louis, like a pretty substantial chunk of St. Louis DSA's background is transplants. They came here for school or they came here because the city is cheap.
Yeah, and it's like I think a lot of folks, like, there's an idea that like you could have the right ideas, you can say the right things, believe the right things, and like you'll do the right things. But like we know obviously that you have to make investigations. You have to actually talk to people. You have to actually check your assumptions against real life, and you have to actually embed yourself in your community and the masses to understand what you're supposed to do. I think a lot of people are hesitant to do that, or maybe they don't know how yet. But I think like I don't know, it comes in waves. I've seen like 3 waves of people get involved, do cool shit, and then burn out because how everybody treats each other like shit.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that.
I mean, some people do deserve to be treated like shit, but most of the people that are being treated like shit do not deserve to be treated like shit. Like, for fuck's sake, we don't have time for that shit anymore. Like,
Exactly.
We have dozens upon dozens upon dozens of fires to help put out. And here you are engaged in petty interpersonal beef and squabbling with each other over inconsequential bullshit. Like it's like some of these people want to go to a concentration camp, man. That's like some of these people, they've just gotten so nihilistic. You know what? I'm going to be an asshole and a prick to everybody, and that's how we win. That's not how you win. That's how you, like, the enemy preys on our weakness. The enemy preys on our fracturedness. The enemy preys on our lack of inability to get our shit together. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But you don't have any business calling yourself an organizer. The purpose of an organizer is to bring people together. Like I just avoid people who seem to have as their main goal splitting and setting up unnecessary differentiations between different groups.
I think like the thing is it's a lot easier to come down hard on like other organizers or people in your community who are doing
Sign
stuff.
of weakness.
Exactly, because like the enemy is like a fucking like geared up thug with like Nazi tattoos and a balaclava on and like a bulletproof vest driving around in armored vehicles. That's much scarier.
Yeah, you don't want to fight a guy like that if you're 125 pounds. So it's easier to fight the other 125 pound motherfucker.
See, but if we all stand together, then we weigh like, a couple thousand pounds. And then
it's a sign that it's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of allergy to power, so to speak. Like being allergic to power is not refusing to endorse some bullshit ass Zionist congressperson. Allergy to power is consistently engaging in activities that is counterproductive to building real power. Like we have to have a working definition of power in the first place. A lot of people do not know what power is. Power is the ability to define a phenomenon and make it act in a desired manner. Or to put it in layman's terms, if some fucked up shit is going on, power is the ability to make it stop. We do not have the power to make shit stop in this country, so why the fuck are we arguing with each other? Or, God forbid, talking about who we're going to throw in the gulag or who we're going to execute as if we have the power to even wipe our own ass.
Yeah, I'm so tired of hearing about people talk about like, oh, this is what we should do. That's what we should do. And it's like, bro, we can't like protect our own people right now, right? Like, I don't want to hear about your ideal society. Oh, we aren't the ones deciding anything right now.
Yeah, like they don't have any notion of like, how do you know what a good society looks like? You have to take into account the fact that we are going to be doing something that we are all trying to do something that has never, ever, ever been accomplished. Taking down a very strong, even though it's weak, paper tigers have two aspects. One, they're made out of paper, but they're also still tigers. They can give you a nasty paper cut. So, like we're trying to do something that has never, ever, ever been accomplished. So, can I fault the masses when they say that, you know what, all you commies are just full of hot air? All y'all do is sit up and woof and woof and woof and never do anything? No, because if I was an average, ordinary, everyday person, I honestly would not fuck with communists either, because it seems that all we do is fucking talk and yap and nothing and fight amongst each other and nothing gets accomplished. So for communism to actually have a basis in this country, we have to actually demonstrate to people that we are for real. Like this. These guys are for real. This is Ross Baraka. I believe he's running for governor of New Jersey. Good luck getting all those Italians to vote for a black person, but we'll see.
Yeah, right here.
So this building apparently is housing illegally detained migrants.
And it's a shame that the IRS is sharing information with ICE. It's a shame that people have died against a giant without legal representation and without the support of anybody.
They denied our people entry yesterday. The health department, code of
we need more black and brown organizing like this.
Officials,
fuck ADOS and FBA.
They denied them entry yesterday. So we all came today, collectively to make them let us into this place today. They're saying that they have to wait for ICE to give them permission, which is not true. Right, ICE doesn't have to give them permission. They don't even have an officer of police at this point. They have a contract. And so they're completely responsible for what's happening here, the GEO group. And what they're trying to do is hide under the veil of ICE and the federal government to say that we don't have jurisdiction because the federal government does. It's not true. The court is recognized. They wouldn't let us in yesterday, so we're here today trying to get in, and we're going to get in today.
What do you believe is inside? It strikes me as how scared they all are.
They may have detainees.
People just looking at them.
Yeah, like when shit starts happening, I keep saying we're gonna have a long hot summer because all of these contradictions are going to boil over. You've got people being snatched off the street for no reason, like they're literally deporting American permanent residents. Soon they're going to start deporting American citizens en masse. Soon they're going to start incarcerating American citizens en masse who have done nothing wrong besides exercise their free speech. So all of these people that are still acting like shit's normal, no, we have to do better. Otherwise, nobody's going to trust us because they're going to start asking. So when Ramon was snatched the other day, where were y'all at? Like, yeah, they're scared because they're not used to this type of pushback. They're used to people at the very least standing around chanting weekly, let them go, let them go, let them go. But when you actually see people who know what they're doing, when you actually see people who are willing and ready to throw down on behalf of the people, yeah, they're going to get scared. Yeah, they're going to back down because they don't know. They've never seen such before.
He's in there. They're not supposed to be in there. That's our position. Nobody's supposed to be in there. We've allowed the courts to negotiate this when there was no detainees in the building. It was just workers, GEO, and us. ICE don't have a long-term lease with these folks, so GEO is completely responsible. They're hiding behind ICE right now. Keep telling our folks that ICE has to give us permission to get in, which is completely not true. Fire officials can go into any building anytime they want to do any inspection. We're not allowing them in. I wasn't here yesterday. The fire officials and UCC code officials were here yesterday. They wouldn't let them in, so now I'm here today.
And how did you get a tip that there might be someone inside?
One of the security workers here told us that somebody was inside. Then we ran across a individual, a woman at the press conference, told us that she ran into somebody whose wife was in here, and then we searched that guy down and had a conversation.
This is the mayor of Newark, by the way.
So we know for a fact that people in here. So.
In our state, no fear, no hate, no ICE in our state, no fear, no hate, no.
And if the name Baraka sounds familiar to you, that is Amiri Baraka's son. So very good, keeping the tradition of activism in his family alive. You were in FTP DC, weren't you?
Yeah.
If you could tell me, how did that, like, I love talking to former FTP people because I just, like, everybody I talked to had a different experience depending on chapter. And each FTP chapter had its own culture. I'm kind of sad that they're not around anymore. But I guess that was kind of our own making.
We're in hiatus, but my like old org that like gradually transitioned into Maoism as we started seeing what actually works. Like we merged with FTP DC and like formed like FTP DMV, and then all the original members of FTP DC gradually dipped out until it was just like us left. So we're like still doing like the thing happened, the thing I can't talk about. So like
the smelly thing, I remember.
Yeah, but the bad thing. So like we're
leftists. We're leftists. Everything that happens to us in this country is a bad thing.
Yeah, that's why I said when people were like, "Hey, are you okay?" and I'm like, "No, but I'm a communist. I don't expect it to be okay."
So what is it with white leftists, white Maoists and third worlders in particular, in those 80s fucking Jeffrey Dahmer glasses?
Listen, man.
Like I have the 60s frames.
I like them. It's like what my grandfather wore, like when he got back from killing Nazis.
Yeah, you gotta have the 60s frames. It's fucking 80s frames. It's not like some aspects of 80s fashion is redeemable. For example, I love members only jackets, but those glasses is not working.
Yeah, I got the.
You look like a cadre of serial killers.
I got before this. I had the round glasses, and everyone was like, "You know, you look like Leon Trotsky," and I was like, "I can never."
You do.
No,
Hungarian Trotsky.
Yeah. The worst was like it was like our like friends from Great Britain were like, "You know, you do in fact look like Leon Trotsky." So, you know, there are all the leftists over there at Trotskyists.
I love Brits.
Yeah.
Oh yes, can I borrow your paper? I actually bought a paper from a lot the other week. My paper budget is kind of depleted at the moment.
I like speaking of papers, I you know what? I'm coming around on Trotskyites just a little bit, just because like they're fucking out there.
Out there doing what? Selling papers?
They're handing out their newspaper. That's at least something, bro. I'm like,
good. Okay, there's a good something and there's a stupid something.
I think they can be like, I think if like we asked them to be somewhere, I think they'd be there. That's my thing. That's my new thing.
To hand out the papers, not to make revolution.
But like, you need some people standing around usually for something to actually work.
What purpose do they serve?
Hold that thought for the next 6 to 8 months. I'll get into more specifics. But yeah, no, I think like that's my new thing is like I've been like, obviously I think we should be consistently criticizing things when it comes up, obviously, right? I'm not an opportunist, but like I think I'm more concerned now with like when you call somebody, are they going to show up? Because so many people who like are like, you know, the most radical person, right? And they're there, they read Mao and they're like, got it, like they shout all the slogans and then they're like, something's happening and they like don't fucking show up, you know?
Oh yeah, Maoists in particular are very, very good at ghosting.
Exactly. And I'm 30 years old. I've been doing this for 10 goddamn years and I'm so fucking tired of that.
You started organizing around the same time I did.
Yeah, I got back from fucking the concentration camp in Brownsville and was like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna.
What the fuck were you doing in a concentration camp in Brownsville?
Oh, well, so I've got this down to an elevator pitch now because I got to bring it up all the fucking time. So in 2014, my AmeriCorps NCCC FEMA Corps team was retached from Disaster Survivor Assistance, the other DSA, to work in a Customs and Border Patrol detention facility in Brownsville, Texas, which was full of unaccompanied minors. The facility was at 600 to 1,000% over capacity.
So wait, they sent you down there to a place that was full of little kids and teenagers that were basically like cheek to jowl on top of each other. And they expected y'all to do what?
So they said to us, they said, and this is I'm paraphrasing, but this is pretty close to what they said from this is from a long time ago, but they said, you know, this is going to be a lot like Peace Corps, where we're just going to say, you know, go out and do good, right? So they like, I mean, we were there for humanitarian purposes, but like we were still like technically representing the U.S. government. So like my team was like mostly people who were like figuring out that they were communists. So like, man, the shit that we saw there though, I'm still fucked up over it. It's why I'm like this, to be honest. I was a very happy-go-lucky, normal white kid before that happened.
And now you are a cursed Maoist.
Yeah. But I'm glad I got my eyes opened. I mean, it was a pretty like traumatic eye opening, but like fuck, like it was way more traumatic for those kids. I got to go home. They didn't. They had them laying down, fucking shoulder to shoulder, with those Mylar blankets, right, burning my fucking retinas. And they were shoulder to shoulder, barely enough room to lay down, and they were laying in an ankle deep layer of rotting food and human shit. Because like thing is like Central America, a lot of their places they're from, you don't flush toilet paper because the pipes can't handle it. So you put it in a trash can next to the toilet. And they like didn't tell them that they could just flush it here, and then they didn't clean up the fucking like the toilet paper.
Yeah, the fucking idiots that worked there. They were probably like, "Oh yeah, filthy fucking savages. They don't know how to do toilet paper."
That's what they fucking said to me when we brought it up. We're like, "You put a sign up," and like one of the desk sergeants, right? And this is the thing that completely changed my outlook and like why I'm a materialist. Most of the people we talked to in there were horrified by what they were doing every day, and they still clocked in.
Why did they keep doing it?
Because they did. I don't think they just had.
If I have a job that requires me to kick puppies every day, I don't like abusing animals. So I'm gonna be like, no, I'm not fucking doing it, and I'm going to quit. It doesn't matter if I have to eat bologna sandwiches, I'm not going to go to work every day and abuse people or animals.
A lot of them quit. A lot of them kill themselves. Like, it happens all the time. And like,
maybe you should have thought about that before you took a horrible job like that.
Yep. I mean, here in where like my partner's from in Virginia is Farmville, and at the Farmville ICA, like that's one of the main industries. Like if you can't get a job working like in like you're either in the prison as an inmate or you're in the prison as a guard. And
a lot of towns, a lot of towns in Missouri are like that. Like if you go to Bonne Terre or Pacific or Potosi or Vandalia, where my mom was locked up, or any of those other places, Moberly, like before they put the prison there, it was literally you sit around and do nothing but smoke meth all day, or you drink all day, or you go work on the like 2 farms in town. Like that's literally all there is. And that's why people like these are places that people leave from. These are places that people, they move to St. Louis, they move to Little Rock, they move to Memphis. They don't stay in places like this. So people literally lobby to have new prisons built in their communities, because once you get the prison built, okay, how many COs does the average prison have? Maybe 200, 300, something like that. Okay, so they hire all these people, substantial chunk of the town's population, your little bitty ass town, 2,400 people. Okay, so people come up to visit their relatives in the prison. So now you get a Comfort Inn, a Holiday Inn or something in town. That's more jobs. You get McDonald's in town. That's more jobs. Burger King. There's more jobs. Wendy's, all that shit. More gas stations, stuff like that. So entire, like you just mentioned with Farmville, Virginia, entire towns built up around prisons.
And what's crazy to me is it's like those people are like they're the guards, obviously, and a lot of them are obviously fucked up, horrible, violent people, but like they feel trapped. Like I think a lot of them do end up leaving and going to greener pastures, but like I think there's part of the like American culture and American system where they just consume the horizons and make you think that like that prison's all that you got.
Yeah.
I think like when we talk about labor aristocracy, I think like it's more productive to point at that and like at the fucking weapons workers that you were talking about. Because I think you're absolutely right. Like short of a active revolutionary situation, those people are never going to like organize their jobs away.
Absolutely not. Like, yeah, you're not going to have people in Moberly, Missouri, or Pacific, or Potosi, or Vandalia talking about, yeah, let's close the jail. Let's close the jail because they believe that they would ruin their town.
Well, and also, you know, the fucking what is it? The old saying, like the union of the cockroach and the chicken happens in the chicken's stomach. Like one of the desk sergeants who was like, absolutely, like we need to improve these conditions. What's happening? These kids is fucked up. And he was working with us. He was going to put signs up in Spanish and like Maya to tell the kids that, you know, they could flush the toilet paper, and like he helped us clean the cells. That guy disappeared. We didn't see him again the whole time I was down there.
I wonder where he went.
Exactly. He was replaced by a guy who came up to my team multiple times, and he said, you know, these kids are going to tell you their fucking sob story. And when they start, you just gotta walk away from them. Don't listen to them. I was like,
what do you mean sob story? They're little kids.
The little kids who were being fucking like abused, like on a industrial scale. Like they made they would make the boys strip when they brought them in. Like and they'd make us touch them, like to inspect them for fucking scabies. But here's the thing, right? They have rooms for that shit. They were doing it in the middle of like, it was set up like a panopticon. Like it actually was a panopticon. They had like that
is sexual assault.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I didn't kind of understand what was going on at the time. I was just a 19-year-old kid. But yeah, no, like, those people are like there's people who like feel like the only people who felt like they could affect their situation were like fucking psychopaths. And like the people who were like normal guys who got a job and they're like, oh no, my job is now to abuse children, are like, what do I do?
Yeah. But again, that's what happens in a post-industrial hellscape like the United States. Like, there's no more factories to work at, man. There's no more factories, so people take whatever. Like, go on Indeed.com right now. Look at all the jobs. What's all the jobs? Security. Fucking McDonald's, front desk clerk at a hotel. Like, we're a service-based economy. Whatever factory work there is to get now, it's going to be temp labor. Like, there's no more UAW unionized shit like that, like back in the 60s and 50s, that basically enabled both your people was military, but basically enabled my and that basically helped build a black middle class in Detroit. That's gone. Go to Detroit now, see who works up there.
Ain't you work security too?
Why would you fucking tell people that?
Sorry.
In college. Yes, in college.
I mean, I work security. I've noticed like people who are like everybody who's like, man, I can't do this shit anymore.
Why do you think I mentioned it?
Everybody I know from like
giving people my resume for. Yes, I did in college for a few months.
That's like no, I think a security company could like be a site of above ground resistance. This is my long-term plan.
Look at what you're doing to my fucking fans. Now you got
no, seriously. Because you could do pro bono work for like protests and stuff. Because that's the thing is like I've been in these protests, right? Like I see black blocs in 2025 of like 2 dudes, and the enemy is just allowed to just walk up to anybody. Like that shit's crazy.
That's
right? If we're not going to have a black bloc anymore, then we need to have like somebody who's legally allowed to have a gun there until they're legally not allowed to have a gun there anymore.
Do not let this guy cook. See,
all right, I'll prove you wrong.
half my fucking friends are insane. Sometimes I bring my insane ass friends onto the stream.
Security is the work that I've noticed like lumpen when they're like, oh man, I can't do this shit anymore. Everybody comes a security guard. Like every single person I work with.
I did not. Well, you know what? I had plenty of time to read comics. I actually radicalized one of my coworkers because I used to just sit and read communist literature on the work computer, and he would come in after me, and I would leave the tabs open. And then I run into this dude on Mayday like 3 years later, and he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, all that shit you used to leave up on a computer. Congratulations, you turned me into a comic." But I did not delude myself into thinking that was productive labor or anything like that. I was literally just sitting on my ass reading books. They didn't even give me a fucking they didn't even give me a fucking little tin badge. But yeah, it was a college job. I had plenty of time to study and read and do all that good bullshit.
Yeah,
I would not encourage communists to run off and become security guards, though.
Oh, definitely not. I was talking about a security company.
I did not work with. You know who I worked with at the fucking security company? I worked with a bunch of people that were fresh out of jail. Like they hire literally every fucking body. I worked with one tweaker chick on the same shift as me. She would go and steal food out the fucking vending machine and try to get me blamed for it. It was wild. It was like a cross section of the proletariat. And then when I was working at the factory, like you had people that would literally just leave the machines running and fall asleep. I'm like, bro, you're gonna chop your fucking fingers off. The only time I had to do my job was when motherfuckers were smoking back there by the chemical tanks. I'm like, look, that's not how I want to go out, bro. I'm sorry.
That's fucking crazy. I was like, I would just go sit and fucking like the shitty apartment buildings and like West Side, and just like listen to like Marxist literature and shit.
Maybe DSA should have a Marxist security guard caucus.
I mean, you got enough. I think you got enough caucuses already, but like, what's one more?
I'm joking. I haven't done that work in 5 fucking years. But it's cool for college students.
It's a job where you don't have to do anything.
If your comrades find out that that's the type of work that you're doing, you will get roasted. But who gives a shit? They're not paying your bills.
Yeah, I mean, like fucking I have like no illusions about anything you can do for a paycheck in this country is going to be fucked up on some level.
Well, I expect to see you working at Raytheon very soon then.
I mean, there's limits. There's limits. I mean, like, because like here's the thing. Like, if you're a security guard, like it's like they were talking about like the difference between armed and unarmed security. Like,
I was never armed.
Yeah, no, I
was armed, but I wasn't supposed to be.
That's something you don't want to say on the stream, bro.
You're the one that brought this topic up. If you just kept your fucking mouth shut, nobody would have known. They would have thought that they would have continued to think that I just dropped out of my mom's womb as a fully fledged Maoist revolutionary.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen to anybody. Everybody's got like everybody has to exist in the world. You know, like
yeah.
I think people have these like ideas that they need to be pure, or like they can expect other people to be pure. Because I guarantee, like, everybody's got to do something, you know. But yeah, like unarmed security, like your job is to be like, hey, don't do that. And then they say, I'm gonna do it. And you go, okay.
I didn't even tell them don't do that. I'm like, look, you're a grown ass person. If you want to leave that machine running and chop your fucking fingers off, that's on you.
Yeah, I told people, I was like, they were like, I was like, hey man, you can't smoke back here. And they're like,
I didn't do no paperwork. I guess that's why they fired me. I got fired on Pearl Harbor Day.
That sucks.
Because I didn't want to fucking come in. It was a snowstorm. I'm like, I'm not fucking coming in. Have you lost your mind?
Bro, they made us come in on they try to make us, at the job I work now, right, the progressive one, they try to make us drive to fucking Richmond from Nova in a blizzard.
What the fuck? You call that the progressive job? The job that's fucking with your homeboy about the union and shit?
Yeah. They call themselves progressive. The fucking security guard place is run by a bunch of like fucking ex-military, like conservative guys, and they cared more about fucking workers' rights than the fucking like the people with the SEIU on their board. Like our
funny story. My boss at the first security job, she literally got fired because she was stealing company checks, taking them to Las Vegas and laundering them. And she's currently resident in prison. But yeah, security guard companies, they hire and are run by the most scuzzy, just fucking white trash motherfuckers imaginable. And yes, she was addicted to meth. This is Missouri.
And yet they don't union bust like fucking unions do. Like
of course unions union bust. They know the power of a union.
Exactly. I have like less patience for people who fucking know better.
I have, yeah. That's why I'm so hard on leftists that back AOC and Bernie Sanders.
Are they doing that shit now?
Oh, they're still doing that. There's some dumbass he was talking about. He wanted to go to Iowa to canvass for Bernie Sanders. I mean, to canvass for AOC in 2028. I'm like, first of all, you're an idiot because you want to go to fucking Iowa, and then for two, you're an idiot because you want to canvass for AOC. Like, why would you do that? Well, first of all, why are you excited? Why are you excited? You live in New York City. Why are you excited about going to fucking Iowa? I've been there. It's nothing but cows and corn and crackers.
And like, I feel like, you know, it's understandable to want to be keeping like the spirit of 2020 alive, like that, try to live in that moment. So I know people that are trying to do that.
Spirit of 2020. I didn't even back Bernie in 2020. I didn't even back Bernie in 2016.
That's the thing, but people still trying to live in 2016, bro. Like that ship has sailed hard. Bernie is not the guy.
Like I already fucking knew Bernie was full of shit back in 2016. Like I'm black, bro. Ain't no old ass white man gonna implement socialism in the United States. I'm sorry. It's not going to come peacefully. It's not going to come from Bernie Sanders. Bernie is going to be dead in a few more years. He's older than both Biden and Trump.
And it's not going to be AOC in 2028. It's going to be like fucking
Fetterman,
Cuomo or something. Yeah,
Fetterman.
It's going to be Fetterman.
It's going to be Fetterman Newsom.
Yeah, they're gonna sheepdog you back into voting for some psychopath, just like they've been doing every goddamn election since 2016.
Making a mistake one time is fine. We would not be human if we did not err and make mistakes. It's when you make the same type of mistake over and 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 over again ad nauseum and you still don't learn. And better yet, you still are sanctimonious and pompous and keep trying to get people to do the same shit. And you actually have the nerve to denounce and condemn us when we don't fall for this shit. That's what grinds my fucking gears.
I mean, it's like fucking Charlie Brown with that football. Like, come on. You can't keep falling for it. They're doing the same exact trick over and over.
Honestly, a lot of these people get paid off of it. Like a lot of these people are like professional campaign managers and professional. I was about to say professional canvassers, but that's you. Like professional people that make money off knowing elections. So the reason why they keep wanting to drag you back into electoral politics is because they get paid off of it. Like I keep saying, nobody's going to organize their job away. If we have an armed revolution in this country, then there's really not going to be any room for canvassers and campaign managers because political power is going to be coming from the barrel of a gun. So nobody's going to have time to be knocking on doors and shit like that. If you canvass during a revolution, you're going to be canvassing for food and water and ammunition and supplies like that, not to get people to vote.
I mean, I think folks should work on the skill while nobody's shooting at them.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about, like, in terms of, working within what we've got available to us is and like using life experience. I think every leftist should try being a canvasser at least once, like, because
I did it for Cory Bush. My feet ended up hurting, and half the buildings I couldn't even get into.
You got to sneak in. You got definitely have like a door.
Bro, I'm black in St. Louis. I ain't trying to break into shit in broad daylight.
That's true. I didn't think about that. You're right. No, but honestly, like, I know you've noticed this about leftists. Maybe a group that's not super great at talking to people. I love our comrades, but a lot of people are not super great at, like, cold calling, not super great at, like, starting conversations, and that's the type of shit.
That's pretty much the only utility of canvassing.
Yeah, it breaks you that. Like, I used to be way more shy than I am now.
It's either that or they're irony poisoned. Like, have you heard the topics of discussion in most of our types of, like, radical leftist circles? And the Zoomers are like 10 times worse than we were. These motherfuckers literally sit around and talk and say shit like, inshallah, Saddam Hussein will return and scourge the earth.
I mean, I don't want to be like the guy being like, don't let the kids have their fun, but that's, like, fucking embarrassing.
It's fucking embarrassing, yeah. If you find yourself saying shit like that unironically, you need to take your medicine.
Everybody needs to touch grass. That's the one thing. Honestly, the thing I'm saying right now is, like, plant some sweet potatoes. That's what folks need to be doing, because everyone wants to talk about guns because guns are exciting, guns are cool, guns make you feel sexy. But, like, you got to learn.
Guns can also blow your dick off if you don't know what you're doing with them.
Yeah, and I have encountered many leftists who do not know what they're fucking doing with them. The two people who flag me the most in my day-to-day life are fucking cops and other leftists.
Well, sounds like you all need to go back to basics, comrade.
100%.
I do not want to hear about your demise at the hands of somebody with the same political beliefs as us.
I'm thinking that's probably not how it's going to happen, but no, I'm right there with you. I'm glad folks seem to be getting serious about, like, arming themselves, serious about, like, that kind of discipline. But, like, folks aren't talking as much about, like, all the other skills that you're going to need if you're thinking things are going that way.
Mm-hmm.
Medical training. Fucking nobody's talking about that. Like, logistics.
Yeah, what are you going to do after you blow your dick off with your own gun?
Exactly. And, like how are you going to get? You're talking about going door to door canvassing for, like, food and ammunition. Like, the types of, like, if you look at the U.S. military, right, which is a very successful fighting force, and it's the one that I know the most about, right? It's like the ratio of, like, actual combat troops to support troops is like 20-1, and that's pretty extreme. Like, if you look
we're talking about, but you also have to keep in mind that a people's army cannot be compared to an imperialist standing army, though.
Well, I know it's not to that, like, extreme degree, but it's still like if you look at like the Taliban, right? Very successful, very protracted people's war, right? Maybe not the best politics, but like they won. And they're mostly
It was
like,
a protracted war. It wasn't a people's war, though.
I mean, like they threw the invader out, and that invader was us. So I don't want to like I don't want to talk shit. Like obviously they're fucking awful.
Iggy, you do not have to hand it to the Taliban.
I think like in terms of like, I think we can learn from the things that they did right without handing it to them.
That is true. We do
They
not have to.
very
We do not.
successfully
We do
extracted
not
the
have to
United States
ideologize.
Army.
That is true. If your goal is to just kick out an invader, yeah, the Taliban might be a decent model, but I also have to keep in mind that these are not very nice, not very friendly people.
No, and like they're I don't know how long they're gonna last trying to rule Afghanistan, but like
A shitload longer than us.
yeah, but they well shit, we were there for 20 years. That's a long ass time. But they know that to sustain that kind of like resistance activity, you need a lot of people. You need people doing intelligence. You need people doing like logistics work. You need people doing medical work, right? They had hospitals. They had people in a lot of people in support roles, and I think when comrades get like a heroic idea about themselves and about the work that they're going to do, they don't like realize where they are and what they actually need to be doing. Because like we're not in the situation yet where people are going to be shooting. At least I don't think so, right? But we are in a
Sigmund
situation.
Freud's birthday.
Yeah, we are in a situation where people need to be talking to people, and I think that a lot of leftists would rather grab a gun than talk to their neighbors.
The funny thing is, after the leftists grab the gun, they do chicken shit to shoot anybody with it. It's like Mao. It's what Mao would call stroking the arrow. Like you have this tool, and you don't even use the fucking thing. Like you literally have to think, oh my god, if I use this, I'm gonna go to jail. I can't. I have to graduate. I can't. My mom is gonna kill me. Oh my god. Like it's just posturing. They would not pass the mob test. It's Sigmund Freud's birthday.
Is it?
Yes.
Speaking of mom test.
Yep, it's his birthday. Yesterday was Marx's. And also the day that the Mexicans won the Battle of Puebla. So, before you expose some other lore about me, is there anything else that you want to wrap up with?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I haven't scared everybody off with my musings about us.
We still have 482 people watching.
All right. Well, like, yeah, we're a progressive union. We're with the IWW. They're coming after us like pretty harder than I can really talk about here. And we could use your support. Is there a way I can post our like Instagram?
I'm not logged into Instagram. I can you can post it in the chat, sure.
Yeah, here, let me see how to do that. I'm not the most tech savvy. Okay.
Do any of you all have pet rats? Beware. Rodent droppings in urine can contain and can give you hantavirus, leptospirosis, salmonellosis, lymphocytic choriomeningitis, and rat bite fever. Other parasites can cause neurological damage as well. So keep that in mind if you keep those filthy beasts as pets. They are not pets. Iggy, you look like the type of person that would have pet rats. And he's ignoring me. What are you doing? Using what?
It blocked me from posting it, I think.
Shit. Weak.
Yeah, that's my real name. It's my Google account.
It's all right.
I don't think I can hide from the feds anymore. Anyway.
Well, you are a very distinguished looking person. Can we really afford to not have every Marine or rifleman approach to those support skills? I'm a supporter of the idea that everybody that is physically capable should know how to use arms and conduct basic tactics, but some people are not. So we have to have places for those people as well. We have to be able to make use of every comrade. That's my ideology. And yes, Gene Hackman's wife did die from rat shit, hantavirus. Either she was in the habit of walking through the woods or their house was so filthy that the rats came in and shit everywhere and made her sick. Yeah, it's a pretty shitty way to die.
It's fucked up. Yeah, I think I like the every Marine rifleman, but I think, like, if you're thinking about a people's army, you need to be thinking about what you're going to be doing when you're not using that rifle, because like most of the time you're not going to be using the rifle. It's like, the Ho Chi Minh song. They're like every soldier was a farmer.
Yeah.
Right?
Most of the Viet Cong, they did not spend most of the time on operations. They spend most of the time taking care of their rice paddies. Part-time soldiers. I mean, you had full-time cadres, and of course, if you're in the North Vietnamese army, you were a full-time soldier. But most of the people that helped whoop America's ass in the Vietnam War, they were rice farmers, in rubber sandals made from old tires. Those were the types of people. They were citizen soldiers.
Yeah, I'm thinking I think we focus too much on the rifleman part and not enough on the fact that, like, you have to be integrating yourself in the masses and you have to be meeting their needs directly. And a lot of times that's going to be unglamorous. It's not going to be fun. You're not going to enjoy it, right? But it's what needs to be done.
Yeah, like you have to be able to, like, say me and Iggy and a few other people, we have a 5-man team. To get funds for the revolution, we hold up a bank. The best way to do that would not to be walk around in like fatigues and be like, here's the people's army, everybody. No. A people's army melts back in. Like Iggy goes back to his canvassing. I go back to my streaming / whatever job I end up with after leaving the shelter. And that's how you, like, the people's army is literally of the people. You're a soldier when you're doing the operation. When you're not, you're doing your day-to-day life.
And I mean, like, to be honest, like, if I look back on what I've done over the past 10 years, the thing that made the biggest difference, right?
That's right. Incriminate yourself. Go ahead.
The thing that made the biggest difference, the thing that made people the most supportive of communism, the thing that made them see themselves as part of the movement, right, in my community, was childcare, right? And that's like not something a lot of people want to be involved with. That's not something they think about themselves doing when they say, like, oh, I want to be a communist revolutionary.
Little kids are mean.
Yeah, there's a need for it, right? Folks are overworked, right? Folks need, like, just giving a place for kids to go on like a Friday night where like their parents know that they're going to be okay. One, that means that they trust you, and that's something you need. You need your community to trust you enough to listen to you when you talk, right? But also, like, now you are making it so that they don't have kids running around for at least a couple hours on a Friday night.
Yeah.
That's a very valuable thing.
Let Black Red Guard babysit your kids for 2 hours. I guarantee you they will know the Little Red Book cover to cover.
Yeah, I remember one of the kids. One of the kids that we worked with for the longest time, when we came back into the neighborhood with FTP, he asked us. He was like, why are you guys always helping people? And we were like, we're communists. That's what we do, right? And I think about, like, what's that kid gonna do when he grows up? When, like, one of his core memories, like when he thinks about like happy childhood, it was communists helping out his family, right? And I think not enough people think about that kind of long game. They want to think about like Hearts of Iron 4, you know, troops on the map type of thing.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's a very revisionist way to look at people. Like, people are not objects to implement your whim. People are the makers of history. If you see people as objects, if you see, like, that's how white people view history, no offense. Like, they just see people as things. Y'all used to buy and sell us as things. Well, I've never heard of any Hungarian slave owners.
I'm sure there were some. My family
Well,
came later, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen any black people walking around with names like Kossuth, so.
Yeah, it's kind of cool with my last name that like anybody who I see with that last name, I know like I am actually like they're from my like actual tribe. Like I have direct blood relation with them.
Y'all got tribes?
Yeah.
Hey,
It started out with seven.
aren't y'all like Magyars? That's the true
Yeah,
name of your people.
yeah.
The other Europeans called y'all Hungarians. I don't know. But aren't the Magyars, like, aren't y'all descended from the Huns?
I mean, it's a matter of debate. It's
But-
like fascists are trying to reincorporate us into like pan-Turkism, and like there's crazy stuff with our origins. We speak a Uralic language, that's like related.
Finnish?
Yeah, it's related to Finnish. It's related to like a bunch of indigenous languages around the Ural Mountains and like Siberia.
So whatever happened to the Huns? Like, which people in Europe or Asia are descended from the Huns?
I mean, if you ask a Turkish nationalist, definitely the Turks. If you ask a Hungarian nationalist, definitely the Hungarians. I mean, we definitely like spiritually, like for instance, like the Sikh, the Hungarian minority population in Romania, and that those are probably I'm thinking those are my people from my research into my family's past. Like they they in their like national hymn they talk about Chaba Karalfi. That was Attila's kid, as like a like heroic like king under the mountain who's going to return and liberate the Sikh people.
Okay, cool. Okay, I support anything that helps to destroy Europe. So I hope he wakes up from up under the mountain and does his thing. All right. So with that aside, I guess we can wrap up before you expose something else about me that I don't want widely known. Next, you're gonna say you were there when I blew up the swing set.
Oh my god, I get people talking to me about the fucking swing set.
Why?
I don't know.
I guess they know you know me or something.
Yeah. I posted enough of your stuff. People figured out that I know you, and they send me
Why do
questions about
people?
fucking
Okay,
swing set.
my question is, like, why is that something that people keep feeling compelled to talk about? Like, okay, I had my family move to a shitty ass white neighborhood a decade ago. We got into it with the racist neighbors, and shit happened, and I ended up. But why do people keep talking about that? It's not even really all that funny.
I think it's just weird. I think it sticks out in people's
Yeah,
minds.
weird shit happens. I didn't even do that shit. I guess folks just like having shit to talk about.
So I'm not able to post the link to the union's Instagram. So let me post it.
What's the name of it?
It's the
You froze.
send you the chat here.
Sorry about that. Are we just going to sit here and stare at each other?
I mean, I can dip out. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. I will see y'all tomorrow. Don't forget to tune in. I'm going to be talking to a comrade from Cincinnati about the whole Rodney Hinton situation and how rebellion and revenge is justified. So say goodnight to Iggy and say goodnight to me. I'm going to go find something to purge the memory of this awful discussion from my mind. Peace.